Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Sir, my screen is visible? Yes, I am audible. My screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning to all. Today in this session, we are going to discuss about information and communication technology in higher education. Then also we can see some of the issues and challenges. What are the issues and challenges as far as information and communication technology is concerned? Looking the various as well as for the cross enrollment in higher education, as per the data, so the 23% in 2013 and 14. Again, it taking further that incremental increase in 27% in the year 1920. Then the very important, whenever you start discussing about information and communication technology, we need to understand for the again what is an expenditure on education. This is something very important. We need to look into it. As far as 2019-20, only 2.8% is there for there is a GDP share as far as for the expenditure on education. Then also it's increased 3.1%. So as far as NEP 2020, they also made 6% of GDP criteria. So this is something probably will enhance for the various introducing for the information and communication technology in the education and other thing. These are some of the things probably we need to be keep it in mind. The another important aspect is taking into consider. There is also a lot of attempt were made as far as for the ICT initiative, information and communication technology initiatives, especially in higher education. Then also our teacher also were implementing for the various regulations, either looking the various regulation by the University Grant Commission as well as Ministry of Education. Then one of the interesting component is blended mode teaching and learning. This is something because already there in the regulation they made they called as academic bank credit under the ABC credit framework regulation. Under this regulation, then also given for the blended mode teaching and learning. These are something already is in the pipeline. Probably this is also one of the initiative as well as for the information and communication technology initiative. Then also a lot of open education resources. Probably they might have discussed about over what are the open education resources and other kind of thing. One of the interesting under the OER, this is NMICT, National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. So this is also one of the interesting as well as for the major initiative as well as for the Ministry of Education, National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. Then also a lot of important aspects were there under the NMICT initiatives. Then also further taking further, there is a program called as NPTL, and that is for the National Program for Technology Enabled Learning. This is again the entire country probably looking for the NPTL. Probably will have see for the series of courses is developed by the and through massive open online courses is made available under the National Program Technology Enabled Learning under the NPTL portal. Then also there is an EPG partial. Under the EPG partial, you will get a lot of e-content. Whatever the e-content already there in the EPG partial, that content can be downloaded. That content will make use of the various component. Then also some other attempt also made for the National Digital Library under the NDL. Again, this National Digital Library, it there under the national coordinator, the IIT Kharagpur. They coordinating for all the things. These are all the some of the open education resources also are there. Then as far as Swayam is concerned, then again we call it Swayam we call it as a platform. Then also under the Swayam, you have so many courses that is for the massive open online courses. There is something very important. Then also taking for the learning management system. This is by and large, I think anybody using in your university or maybe in your institute for your own LMS. I am audible? Yes, I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any institute or maybe any in your university they're using LMS, learning management system? No. Anyway, there is a Karnataka LMS is there. Probably I think you're all well versed with this Karnataka learning management system. Then also very important Bloom's taxonomy. This is again we started choice-based credit system. Then also now we are using for the Bloom's taxonomy. We need to take for outcome-based education. Under the outcome-based education, then also given for the what is then important. Then also taking into consideration what are the ICT initiatives, information and communication technology initiatives with respect in education is also given for the more importance with respect to various components. Either taking for the some institute going for the NAC accreditation or maybe going for the NBO accreditation. Then also even you are taking for the what NARF ranking, they might ask you for what are the ICT initiatives taken by the institute as a organization, as an university. This is something very important. So these are all some of the important components need to be focused. Then whenever you're taking for the positive trend, as far as understanding for the overall demography, we call it as a demography dividend. Almost 650 million of the population is 0 to 24 years. So then again, we call it as a robust young population is there in the thing. We call it as a demography dividend. Then taking these demographic dividend further, then also taking what is an internet penetration. So India has the second highest number of internet penetration. Probably China stands the first, then also second. India is having the second highest internet penetration. Then also taking for the, it's predicted that by 2023, almost 1,240 million internet users in India. So this is something we need to be keep it in mind. Then also taking for the increase in traffic for online education players. So this is day to day. Probably you're all well versed. I think all we're all in the teachers. Probably we know what day to day what's happening for the entire in the education domain. Then also which are all the major player for the for the online education is concerned. This is something probably we need to be keep it in mind as well as for the internet penetration. Then taking for looking the some kind of trend. What is the trend in India as well as for the internet penetration? Only 2% was there in the 2006. Now we're taking for the almost, including both rural, almost 50% having for the internet penetration. This is for the, in the small period, they've changed for the drastic changes as well as for the internet penetration is concerned. Then looking for the smartphone penetration, again, almost 70%, as on today, almost 70% of the smartphone penetration is there. These are all the some of the positive trend help you for as well as for the a lot of contribution to the higher education as well as for the using for information and communication technology. These are all the some of the things probably you can, whenever you're free, just Google it. Probably you can get it all this information. As far as I think looking for the whatever the name in it, probably majority of the thing probably taking for the major share will be there sending email, almost 241 million email we are sending. This is a major share was there as well as for the internet usage. Then also mobile traffic also increasing very rapidly. These are all the some of the thing probably as well as an understanding as a supporting for information and communication technology as well as for the higher education, because these are all the some of the component already you are all well versed with the thing as far as computer application, communication technology. These are all the what is the overall ICT is concerned very important. Then taking another important, taking various information communication infrastructure as well as for the information technology. See, these are all the some of the interesting aspect we need to understand. Some of the physical telecommunication system probably we require cellular, broadcast, or maybe cable, satellite. These are all the some of the via media we are using for the physical telecommunications. Then also you are using services that utilize for those internet or maybe voice, mail, radio, television, whatever the component. Then finally taking information technology, finally we are taking for the hardware and software. Then also taking for the information collection, storage, processing. These are all the very basics. Probably whenever you type it in the Google or maybe whichever the references you are studying for, there is a basic component. As information technology, you should have a mixture of hardware, software. These hardware is software will be for information collection, storage, processing, and presentation. Finally, that entire information communication technology, internet as a ICT tool. So again, we call it the internet is very much is required for the all your information and communication technology. Then further understanding as far as for the what we are presently practicing for the traditional way of classrooms, then also taking for some kind of modern approach using for the ICT education. Probably taking for the classrooms, then again taking for some kind of that whatever some kind of distinguish between as far as for the traditional classroom as well as for the ICT in education. So we are taking for the physical limited size. Then also it's whatever synchronized, whatever the thing it is there in the that whatever the synchronized form. Then again you call it as unlimited, anytime and anywhere. So same thing probably we'll further discuss. Taking for the Swayam course is also given for the anytime, anywhere, and anyone. This is something very important, using for the entire component, using for information and communication technology. Then taking the content, because you're using for the various via media, either maybe PPT or maybe textbooks or maybe transference or maybe library video. But when come to the ICT, we are using for the rich in multimedia. Then also you're making for the various simulation technique or maybe taking for the some of the things available in the digital library. Then also these both the ICT and education taking for the both synchronized as well as for the asynchronized communication. This is something important. Then taking for the under the traditional classroom one learning path, but here you will be learning path phase determined by the learner. Then again we only deciding for the what is the phasing of the various courses or something like this. These are all the some of the understanding for the differentiate between the whatever the traditional as well as for the in the ICT in the approach. Then taking for some of the important, what is the scope of this information and communication technology? It is a tool to innovate teaching learning practice via internet, because by and large you are all aware of it, digital content. So when you're taking for the digital content, because day to day you are also making for the thing, whatever the content it's there in converting the digital form, the same thing in the form of the script. We call it as a script, or you call it as some kind of digital repository or whatever the component. So these digital content, probably already given some example for EPG Padashal. Then again, this is an initiative of National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology under the Ministry of Education. Under the NMICT, they introduced for the EPG Padashal. Under the EPG Padashal, there is so many subjects were there. Based on the subject, they created for the script, they created for the digital content. This digital content is made available for the general public. Probably taken into consider for the thing as a teacher, as a student, or a general public, they can download the content, they can read the content. This all the content is made available in the digital repository. This is something very important. That's also one of the interesting component. Then also using for the so many content using for these digital connect converting in the multimedia in the video form. Then also taking for the various teacher learning methods, learning environment. So some of the important information communication tool, we call it as a learning process. Then again, we are using for the administrative tools, education management information. So nowadays, probably after COVID, then so many universities, so many institutes, they started for they're having for the own learning management system. Probably in your universities or maybe in your college, the LMS is not there. Probably there is probably you're all heard about for InflipNet, correct? Anybody? You're all heard about InflipNet? Yes, I am audible. Yes, madam, I am audible.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
you
sir.
heard about
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. So under the
You are
InflipNet,
audible.
probably in your university or maybe in your institute, probably you can go for taking for the as an registration of through InflipNet. You can use a free of cost for the learning management system, because in LMS is again designed by the InflipNet. Again, InflipNet working under the University Grant Commission. Probably you can make use of this LMS for your day-to-day administrative tools for the education management information system. This is something very important. Then also taking for the expanding learning opportunity, we started distance learning, then also e-learning. Then now probably you are all aware of it. Probably so many universities they are offering for the full-fledged online course. Probably one University of Mysore also offering for the full-fledged online courses. Probably we have almost 7 PG courses we are running full-fledged online. Then also almost 12 UG courses we are running for the full-fledged online. So this is something because very important. This ICT is also playing very important role. Then also taking for we are making for the facilitator for higher order thinking skills, arm-centered, self-directed learning, tailored learning. So these are all the some of the component taking for the scope of as well as an understanding. So information communication technology is playing very important role in the as far as in education is concerned. Then further understanding as a further taking the positive trends. The earlier concept, we thought of lifelong learning instead of learn, earn, and retire. So earlier we thought of only learn, earn, retire. Now we need to take for a lifelong learning. This is something as a positive trend we need to take into consider. Then also taking for the future of work online based. So by and large, because already we are all used to it, probably taken into consider either maybe taking for the various taking into consider various online based whatever the marketing, or maybe taken into consider for the various other component. We are all almost majority of the work we have done it through the online. So the future of work is mainly online based. That is also one of the thing. Probably ICT also playing very important role. Then further, Ministry of Education is proposed to spend almost 2,300 crores on developing and translating digital course content and resources over the next 5 years. So this is something very important. As a teacher, probably so much crore rupees the Ministry of Education is going to spend for creating for the digital content. Probably we have the stake. As a teacher, we have the stake to involve for this creating for the digital content, or maybe delivering the content in the form of the Swayam or maybe MOOC course. So this is something very important. Probably this is also one of the as a positive trend with respect to encouraging for information and communication technology in higher education. Then also different e-learning techniques will be used like YouTube, because by and large you are all well versed with the thing. Then also some of the universities or maybe some of the institutes they are for the own Google Classroom, they are for the thing, they like LMS. Then also we have the Swayam, that is for the indigenously built platform. Then also we have the Swayam Prabha. This is again the Swayam Prabha is the 20 power by 7, that is for the DTH channel, that is exclusively for the education. Anyhow, they will be discussed in the later. Then also given for the EPG partial. Under the EPG partial, we have the lot of e-content. All the script are made available for the various subject. This script can be make use of the as a teacher as well as for the student for the as a reading purpose or maybe as a material. This is something there is almost e-learning techniques already there. Then also given one of the pillars of the Digital India initiative, Government of India started for the Swayam under National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. So this NMICT is playing very, very important role. Under the NMICT, they started for the Swayam because under the Digital India initiative. Then understanding very important because we started discussing about the platform. One is learning management system. Then also we started for the MOOCs. Then also we started for the Swayam. These are some of the important component. As well as for the Swayam is concerned, Swayam is the indigenous platform that is available for the thing. Under the Swayam platform, we can see for the various MOOC courses. These MOOC courses again is uploaded by the 9 national coordinator for the entire country. That is there in the thing. Then again, taking these learning management system, how this learning management system will help you for understanding for the overall as a massive open learning courses, as well as for the, how these help you for the thing. So these are the some of the software, because I think there is a separate content probably they might have discussed for the detailing about the learning management system. Then also taking for the how the whatever the day-to-day taking for the in the initially as well as for the classes you are engaging, submit maybe you are giving the assignments or submission of the assignment. Everything is available in the one platform. So based on the thing, student overall the having for the credential of the login, they can access for the whatever the content is made available in the particular platform. So that's why they call it as a learning management system. That is the thing. Then again, this is again usually that by and large they'll ask you for in the end of the probably in the upcoming days they'll ask you for each institute or maybe each university should have a learning management system. Finally, under the learning management system, you can access for all the information, including for starting from the student attendance to up to whatever the submissions, everything it's available in the learning management. So this is something very important. Then taking for these various learning management system, probably you are taken into consider for the, I think Google Classrooms already there, Zoom Learn, that's also there. Then also after COVID, probably Karnataka introduced for the Karnataka learning management system, probably we're all working in the whatever the college, degree colleges, probably you are all might have used for these Karnataka learning management system. These are all the, then also there is a Moodle. So these are all the various platforms is available for taking into consider for the in the online education as well as for the as a information communication technology. Then another important aspect, day to day, we are also taking for the various courses, or maybe you're taking for the upgrading our various syllabi, or maybe you're taking into consider for introducing for the new courses or maybe new programs. These are all already you are all familiar with these Bloom's taxonomy, or we are taken into consider various component taking for these 6 elements, or make call it as 6 whatever the component. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So this is something as soon as whichever the course you design as a course curriculum, then we need to be end of the thing. We need to be what is an objective of the course. Then also you are asking for the what is an outcome of the course. So the finally end of the day, what are the component need to be thoroughly trained for the particular student. So this is something very important, because already whatever these Bloom's taxonomy, some of the institutions probably taken into consider, either taking for the various premier organization, either maybe IIT or maybe IIC, that all the unit, whichever the unit you have device as far as for the syllabus, that each device then also given for the in the assessment. What is the way for assessing what a various unit is concerned? Then also you are asking for looking the particular courses, whether all these 6 elements given for the weightages. This is something very important. My question is, if you're looking for all these 6 elements, remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. So based on the thing, looking our syllabus, then again, what extent you are going to be given opportunity for all these 6 elements were integrated in our syllabus? Yes, madam. Yes, sir. We are given all the 6 component weightages given in our syllabus, taking for the either particular course or maybe particular subject. Yes, I am audible.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Okay, so only thing is we need to up to some extent you can go for the up to analyze. Probably some of the subject is saying for some kind of field work based or field based courses. Probably some extent is given for the analyze, some extent is given for the evaluate. But very limited scope in our whatever the syllabus we have designed. That's for the creativity. Creativity is not given, especially for in the social science also we are given for the very minimal weightages for the creativity. So this is something very important. Then also given under the present NEP 2020 also they'll given for the there is a larger scope for these all Bloom's taxonomy. Then also given for the equal weightages for the Bloom's taxonomy. This is something for there. Probably this is only for the as an additional as a teacher. At least whenever you making for the framing the syllabus or whatever the designing the syllabus, at least you can take the Bloom's taxonomy. Probably a lot of content are available. Probably just you can Google it for the Bloom's taxonomy new edition. Probably they'll given for the how to make the evaluation process. Probably remember what are the content and how to evaluate in the linking with your internal assessment. These are all the some of the component were there in the under the Bloom's taxonomy. This is for the understanding for the thing. Then taking next another important, probably there is also open education resources. Just I'll give for the gist of this component. Under the open education repository, then also a lot of attempts were made for the Ministry of Human Resource Development, presently called as Ministry of Education. Then also there is an NCERT also make for the lot of material is made available under the in the OER repository. Probably this can be make use of the as a teacher, as a student, and as general public. Then also taking for NPTEL, National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. Then also NPTEL also made a lot of content is made available under the NPTEL portal. Then also so many courses they introduced for the MOOC courses under the NPTEL program. These courses, these content can be accessed freely. Then also this content is released for the freely and openly. This is something over there in the thing. Then again, under the National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology, they introduced for the various initiatives. Then also given for the under attribution, then free of cost they can use for the whatever the content, then also in the public domain. Then another interesting National Digital Library, because this is something important taking for the National Digital Library, because already given IIT Kharagpur is the national coordinator for the entire country for coordinating for the National Digital Library. Probably you can ask your in your university or maybe in your institute if any library is there, probably whether they member of National Digital Library. If the member of the National Digital Library are maybe taking into consider looking our entire, because usually we follow whenever we're making for the NAAC accreditation or maybe taking for the various accreditation, they might ask you for what is the percentage of in your syllabus. There is so many references is given. What is the percentage of these references is made available in your digital repository or maybe in your library? This is something very important. They might ask you whether they cover for the 70%, whether they cover for 40%, whether they cover for the 90%, something like that. Probably under the National Digital Library, probably ask for your librarian or maybe you can endorse for somebody taking your syllabus, then also taking for the various references. Probably you can spend time on the National Digital Library. There's a lot of almost 4 crore digital books are made available. Just you can download that particular relevant to the particular references or maybe syllabus. Probably some extent 70 to 80% of the all digital repository made available in the particular courses. Probably we required for the time to download the content, then also search the content and then make it as a one repository in your institute or maybe in your university. This is very important. Probably that will help you for you can create your own link, create your own LMS, you can share it. Probably student can make use of these National Digital Library resources. This is something important. Probably you can try for in your institute or maybe university. Then also taking for the InfoLibNet already given, that's almost 186 university in India. They are using for the what is there in the as far as learning management system is made available in the InfoLibNet. Probably any university or maybe any institute probably only to take for some kind of consent from the InfoLibNet. Then also probably they will share the credential of LMS. Probably can you make use of these LMS. Then also UNESCO also made for a lot of attempt for especially for this competency framework for teachers. They also created for this OER ICT CFT hub. Probably you can get a lot of information as well as for the open education. So these are something understanding for the OER. These are also again it's a one of the important aspect is focusing for information communication technology in higher education. Then further taking for the growth of massive open online courses in the global scenario, the very important in the 2012 to 2020 in the span of almost whatever the period, based on the thing, the funding is so much money they spent, but when come to the learner is only 2 million, but 2020 to almost 180 million. So that is for the there's a tremendous increase in as far as for the massive open online courses. Then taking for the university part of only 40 university in the entire globe, they involved for the developing the MOOC courses. Now almost 950 universities were there in the entire globe involved for the developing the MOOC courses. Then also there is at the time 2012 there is a course of 250 crores. Now almost 16,000 courses are made available for the entire globe. This is something very important. Then also taking for the lot of so much revenue generated through the massive open online course in the global scenario. So as far as an understanding, taking for the in the Indian context, we have the Swayam platform, that is for the indigenous built platform. Under the Swayam platform, we have the MOOC courses, massive open online courses, because given large enrollment numbers, no mandatory qualification, this is open to all. Then also entire course is the fully online. Then also these courses is a structured course content that is also there in the open access via the web. Then also taking for the basic philosophy of these MOOCs is already given for the 3, anytime, anyone, and anywhere. So this is something, because as soon as you are joining for the MOOC courses under the Swayam platform, just like you are signing for your Gmails, like that, there is a user credential is available in the where whichever subject you are enrolling. You then directly can log into your dashboard. Then in the dashboard, there can all the content is made available. This can be anytime, anyone, and anywhere. Only you should have an internet connection. Then you can see for the whatever the videos are made available, whatever the content is made available under the MOOC course. So this is, that's why they call it as anytime, anyone, and anywhere. Then these are all the some of these speedy progress as well as for the taking for the MOOC courses. Taking 2017 they introduced, then later there's so many courses they introduced for the progress of the thing. Then also looking the entire country, we have the 9 national coordinator for the developing for the massive open online courses, then approved for the national massive open online courses. So as far as an understanding, 203 partnering institutions were there for the entire country. Then also almost 10,486 completed courses. So almost 10,000 courses already they made available under the Swayam platform, taking for the various disciplines. This is something important. Probably there is a lot of attempt were made taking into consideration for the information and communication technology and higher education, taking for the creating the digital content, creating for the audio video content, creating for the massive open online courses. Then also looking the data, almost student enrollment, almost 3.7 crore students have enrolled. But when come to the examination registration is drastically come to almost 32 lakh. Then also taking for successful certification only for the 20 lakh. So this is something very important. There's so many people are so many students have enrolled. But when come to the examination, it is very minimal. Then also completion also very minimal. So this is something we need to be look into it. The entire as well as for the massive open online courses also taking into consider. Then also these courses starting from July as well as for January. So what we are following in the semester system, same thing they follow by the University Grant Commission as well as for the ACT as well as for the various national coordinator. Looking this, then probably there's some extent that whatever the examination registration and certification, probably almost 60%, 64% in the particular cycles were there. This is need to be keep it in mind. Then further you're taking NPTEL is the most visited academic YouTube channel in the world. So very important, whenever if you just you can Google it in the NPTEL, directly take you to the NPTEL website. Probably you will get the plenty of these whatever the as well as for repository made available under the NPTEL. Then also given these content, again some of the course content video lecturer, then also some of the objective type that whatever the programming, then also transcripts also made available. These are all the some of the as a modality of as well as for the massive open online courses is concerned. Taking for understanding overall as well as for the massive open online courses, then also we have the course phase and the instructor. This is something important. Then also some of the courses is made available in the paid courses. Probably taken into consider for the thing MIT, or maybe taking into consider for the Harvard. Are you taking for the various universities for the entire globe? They are offering for the various courses under the massive open online courses. Based on these massive open online courses, we need to be paid for the registration fee for the enrolling for the particular course. So that's we called as a paid courses. When come to the free as well as for the Swayam, so Swayam is the free of cost. We need to be in the free of cost. You can enroll for the any courses paid available in the Swayam platform. Then also we need to understand for the schedule driven as a self-paced. Schedule driven means because as far as Swayam is concerned, its entire course is schedule driven. They'll given for the particular period. Probably the subject will releasing by the in the November. Probably its enrollment start from the January. The same kind of thing in the subject is released by the usually released by May or maybe June. Then again July is that for the enrollment ends. So this is something schedule driven. When come to the self-paced, probably some of the program is designed by MIT, Harvard. So many MOOC courses made available. This is self-driven. Self-paced means we only decide for the what is the duration, because availability of our time Then you deciding for the what is the phases, so that can be done. Then also taking for the as an instructors, then university courses, because very important, the major share will be the universities, they're making for the contributing for developing the MOOC courses. Then also so many private firms also they started for the thing. Probably whenever you free, probably just go to that, there is a separate institutes where they now, earlier there is a World Bank. Now they are also made World Bank Institute. They also made World Bank Institute also making for offering for so many courses under the free of cost. Then also taking for the earlier there is now Asian Development Bank. Then also they made for the Asian Development Bank Institute under the ADBI. Then also they're making for the lot of massive open online courses for the various domains. So this is something important. We need to be updating for ourselves using for this information and communication technology. Then in the entire group, taking for the major platforms or you call it as a players. When you're taking for the platform, probably Hedex, Course Builder, Blackboard, VisIQ, Moodle, Udacity, so many things. Probably you can list out for this. So many platforms are made available. Probably taking for the Hedex, that's also one of the, they are the pioneer of these massive open online courses, taking for the MIT and Harvard. Taking for the under the Hedex, there is plenty of courses are made available under the Hedex. These courses probably we need to be paid for at the time of registration. We need to be paid for some course fee or something like that. Then also so many other courses also made available. So as far as India is concerned, we have the Swayam. That is for the Swayam is a platform that is indigenously built platform. This is made available in the free of cost. Whichever the courses you are going to be enrolling under the Swayam platform, that is for the free of cost. This is the then taking this is only for the understanding for the Hedex because the entire this Hedex is as well as for the initiated by the MIT and Harvard University. They started for this as well as for the thing. Probably whenever you free, probably you can go to the hedex.org. He will get a lot of information related with this as well as for the massive open online courses in the developed by the MIT and Harvard. Probably you can look into it. Then also there's so many languages are made available. There's so many people are having for the learn for the under the Hedex is concerned. Then looking further as well as further is the government of India because already given under the NMICT, National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. They introduced for the National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. So this is again, this National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, NPTEL is the major player for in the online education for the, in the entire country because all technical courses of undergraduate as well as for the postgraduate courses run by the NPTEL. Then also there is also very important looking for the various components. The only thing is this NPTEL is mainly coordinated by very limited, probably taken into 7 IITs and 1 Indian Institute of Science. This is something very important. Hardly they are taking for the comprising of only 10 to 15 institute taking into consideration running for these NPTEL courses for the, in the entire country. Probably looking the various subject released by these 9 national coordinator, either taking for the NPTEL or taking for the University Grant Commission or maybe CEC or taking for the IIMB, whichever the national coordinator identified the Government of India as well as for the Minister of Education. Based on the data set, as far as an understanding, there are so many courses probably taking for the, anybody is aware of how many universities there in the entire country? How many universities? Numbers? Anybody? Taking for central universities or maybe taking for private university or deemed to be university, are taking for the almost 850 to 900 universities were there for the entire country. Based on the data set, even you taking for the presently whichever the courses is released by the e-cycle, probably you will get for the maximum 40 to 50 courses is made available by the e-cycle if you're taking for the share of that university is concerned. But when you're taking for the IIT and IAC, only for the 7 IITs or 1 IAC, then also you're adding for the triple IT or whatever the thing. You're taking for the 10 to 15 organization, they're releasing almost 100 plus courses in the e-cycle. So this is something we need to be reorient ourselves for developing the MOOC courses and also using for the information and communication technology. Because one of the interesting thing, probably anybody working in your friends or anybody in relatives in the IIT or IAC, they also made for the instructing is the mandate. Probably each faculty need to involve for developing the MOOC courses, involve for the developing for the digital content. There's so many digital repositories, so many things. So this is an additional advantage. That's why they're releasing for the e-cycle more than 100 plus subjects are made available for the e-cycle. So probably another 5 years, another 10 years, probably this will come to the mandate for all the universities employees or maybe overall working in the constituency colleges or maybe affiliated colleges. Probably we need to be follow for the what is the direction by the University Grant Commission Probably each faculty need to develop for the one MOOC course. Probably another 5 years. Probably it's a compulsion for the each faculty need to be involved for the thing. This is something important as far as understanding for the NPTEL. Then the another important, whenever you're taking for all these design of MOOC courses, probably we have to use some of the procedure principles, procedure, instruction materialization. These are all the some of the things. Usually they call it as HADE model. We call it as analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. Probably you might be aware of all these HADE model with respect to development of the MOOC courses. Only my submission is under the HADE approach. Probably we have the 7 main categories that need to keep it in mind. As a teacher, if you are developing for the MOOC courses under the initiative of the yes, madam. Yes, madam.
ನಾವು ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಸೇರಿಸಿದಾಗಲೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯವರು ನಮ್ಮ ತಂಗಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್.
Madam, please mute your audio.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನರ್ಸ್ಗಳೇ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Under the HADE approach, there is also 7 main categories taking into consider. Probably core requirement. As a teacher, whenever you developing for the MOOC courses, we need to understand for the overall my audience. So that is why the audience also playing very, very important. Whether your course is targeted only for the graduation student, or maybe your course is targeted only for the undergraduate student, your course is targeted for the as a postgraduate student, something like that. The audience also very, very important. That's why you call it as heterogeneous as homogeneous target group, or maybe your course is generic. That can be all that whatever the all the discipline can able to access your course. That's why you decide for the which is the core requirement. Then also taking for the structure of these courses, number of units. So this is by and large because all are having for the choice based credit system. Usually we are following for the unit of 4 or maybe 5. Some cases are 5 or maybe some cases are 4 unit were there. Probably given for the weightages for the each unit, you can put the 25% weightages. Each courses we have the 4 unit or maybe some cases 5 units were there in the thing. So based on the thing, you decide for the number of units. Then also what are the how many QG elements you can use. Then also resource element documents. Then communication, video, audio lecture component. These are all some of the things. The structure need to be decided by the as a faculty for involving for the developing the courses. Then also participant requirement, very important. Under the Swayam platform, probably so many courses are made available. Probably as a student, they will enroll for the particular courses. Probably they wanted credit transfer because they need to earn the credit because already given under the ABC framework regulation, because already given academic bank credit that taking into consideration each student can earn the credit for the entire country. Probably wherever they can earn the credit, only enrolling for the various online courses or maybe offline courses or whatever the thing. Probably that is for the credit transfer. Then some cases only for the certification. Probably already we have the degree, already we have the thing, we are the working professions, but we require some kind of as far as some certification. These certification will help for the addition, value addition to whatever the in the ongoing probably in the work or maybe wherever you are practicing or whatever the thing. Then also we decide online or Prof exam. Again, when deciding as a teacher, when you deciding for the developing the MOOC courses, probably entire courses is the online. So this is something important. We call it as far as for the CBT, that's for the computer based test or maybe MCQ or whatever the thing. In the Prof examination, you are following for the in the traditional way of pen paper, whatever the thing. This is again you decided by the thing. Then also taking for the assignments, then also taking for the various media design. This is again created by the Creative Commons license already there in the thing. Then also each course is given for the some scope for this charts, discussion, then various other form. Then resource are openness for the of the materials. These are the some of the thing probably we all are aware of it as far as for the HADE approach of the 7 categories. Then taking further understanding under the one of the initiative of the National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology, we call it as Swayam. That is for the study webs of active learning for young aspiring minds. Under these massive open online courses, they will give for 3 cardinal principles as far as the education policy is concerned: access, equity, and quality. So access means that taken into consideration for the entire the teacher as a student fraternity can able to access for the whatever the content is made available, whatever the courses is made available. Then also equity, then also given an equal opportunity for the all the things. Either somebody is working studying in the IIT, somebody is studying for the university level, somebody is studying for the in the rural area as a colleges. The very important we need to understand that can able to access for the things. Some of the courses is designed by the in the premier institution like IITs or maybe IIC that can be accessed by the any student who are studying in the country. So this is something given. Then also given for the more weightage is given the quality. So this is something very important. As soon as under the massive open online courses as well as for the NMICT guidelines, then also given for the more emphasis given for the quality of these courses in the platform. Then looking for the entire Swayam platform, this start from 9th class to till post graduation. So probably taking into consider for the 9th class to till post graduation, there is so many courses are made available under the Swayam platform. They already given 3A, that is for the anyone, anywhere, at any time, then I can access for whichever the courses made available on the Swayam platform. That is for the thing. Then under the Swayam platform, there is a one-stop web and mobile-based interactive platform. They starting from high school to university level. Probably whichever the courses is, some of the courses is high school level also there. Some of the courses is the post-graduation level. That's why it's high school to the university level. Then also given for the high-quality learning experience using for the rich in multimedia. This is something very important. Probably I think you are all well versed. I think probably looking for various educational apps are made available for this as well as for in the elementary education. Probably taking for this understanding for Baiju. Probably you're all well versed with the thing Baiju. Probably that is for the highest that for the subscriber for this Baiju for the as an educational app. Then also used for the various innovative technology for developing this as well as for the Baiju, whatever the lessons is there in the thing, because they use for the high-end technology. Then also using for the multimedia. Then also using for the animation, lot of things. So this is something very important. The high-quality learning experience that is there in the whichever the courses is designed under the online. Then state-of-the-art system that allows easy access, monitoring, and certification. Then automatically they can easily access for the whichever the courses. Then also they can monitor for the entire how many students have enrolled for the entire courses. Then also what is the procedure followed for as an assessment, as taking into consideration for the submission, various component. Then finally they are allowing for the certification for the after the examination. Then also making some weightages for peer group interaction. This is again whichever the courses as a course coordinator given some weightages for the peer group interaction. Then also given for the hybrid model of delivery. Then again taking for the quality of the class then the entire the Swayam platform, that is again is given for the IT support given by the Microsoft, because very important. Because University of Mysore, we have started for Swayam course in 2017. The government of India that started 2017, but we have enrolled for 2018. We started for full-fledged Swayam digital learning monitoring cell. We started for the enrollment for the credit transfer. So based on the thing in the funds initially stage, they're finding difficulty for viewing the video because it will take too much time for streaming of video or so many other issues. But subsequently, we also, because not only for University of Mysore, other universities, even University of Hyderabad, also one of the forefront for implementation of the Swayam. We also made in the a lot of attempt for bringing to the notice to the this Ministry of Human Resource Development earlier. Based on the thing, then also they made an attempt. They given for the entire process given for the Microsoft. Now they given for the very interesting bandwidth based on the thing. Probably in a minute, probably you can see for the more than 20,000 in the particular video. That kind of the streaming or bandwidth is created. This is something very important. We need to be understanding for the Swayam platform. Then looking for this, the 9 national coordinators were there for the entire country. Then also each courses is given for the under the University Grant Commission. They taking for the non-technical postgraduate degree program. Even after COVID, by 2021 onwards, this non-technical postgraduate degree program also entrusted for the Consortium for Educational Community. That is for the CEC Delhi. They're looking for both technical, non-technical undergraduate as well as postgraduate program. The NPTEL is focusing for this technical engineering UG and PG degree program. Then again, NPTEL is directly that again ACT will be taking care of the under the NPTEL. Then IGNO also they're providing for the so many diploma certificate courses. Then also NCERT also taking for this national coordinator for school education. Then National Institute for Open Schooling also they'll give some kind of 9th to 12th that whatever the school education. IIM Bangalore is mainly focusing for the management programs. Any faculty developing for the management courses, then again we need to submit for the national coordinator. The IIM is the national coordinator, IIMB is the national coordinator. They will coordinating for the management courses. Then another interesting NITR, National Institute of Technical Teacher Training Research Institute. This is exclusively for teacher training program. Probably you are all heard about for anybody have enrolled for this ARPIT program, annual refresher program in teaching teachers. Yes, I am audible. 2019,
yes,
2019 that is almost 72 subjects under the ARPIT program. Again, that has to be that national coordinator is the National Institute of Technical Teacher Training Research Institute. Based on the thing, they made mandate for under the thing, then also given in the regulation also had it. As far as the thing, anybody is enrolling for the under the ARPIT program, anybody is having the certification of ARPIT program, it's equal into the either your refresher program or maybe orientation program, whatever the thing for the promotion of the teacher. This is something already there in the guidelines. These are all the 9 national coordinates for the entire country for looking for the massive open online courses. Then looking all the thing, because entire thing is comes under the digital platform. They are given for the more emphasis given for the information and communication technology. This open access to the information, education and learning anywhere, anytime, everyone empowering student of this country. This is main component. Then another interesting 20% credit weightages for the student opting for course on Swayam. So this is again we need to be once again look into the guidelines as far as 2016 as well as for the credit framework guidelines released by the University Grant Commission. Under these guidelines, they'll given for up to 20% of the credit can allow through the Swayam. Usually in the post graduation, what is the total credit, sir, ma'am, for any program? What is the total credit student can be had? Anybody? Is I am audible? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, so what 72, correct? 72 or more than that? For in a
Sir,
program,
more than that.
More than probably minimum 72 credit should be there. Probably taking for the 72 credit, probably in a semester, probably you have the 20 credit, probably 20 or
in a semester 25 or 27.
Not whatever it is. Taking into consider, probably taking for the total, you are taking for the 80 credit or maybe 72 credit or maybe 78 credit. Looking for the 20% of the credit means each semester should have a one courses need to be given option for the Swayam. So because taking for the in the earlier guidelines, this guidelines was there 2016. Then after COVID, then also March 2021, they also introduced for the one more that for the new guidelines introduced by the that is for the released by the University Grant Commission as well as for the ACT. They will given for the up to 40% of the credit weightage is given for the MOOCs. This is something very important as far as an understanding. Probably in the if the University Grant Commission or maybe Minister of Education or maybe AICT, they make mandate to implement for these guidelines. Probably 60% only we need to be focus on the traditional classroom. The 40% it has to be there in the soil. Probably if they're earning the thing only, we need to be credit transfer for the ESR or mark sheet. This is something very important. Probably in the upcoming days, this is also playing very, very important role under the information and communication technology. Then taking for access to the best knowledge of best teachers, this is already given. So many courses is designed by premier institution, probably peer professor in the premier institution, probably taking for the All Institute of Medical Science. Are you taking into consider the National Law School? Are you taking into consider the various IICs or IITs? So this kind of premier institution, they're offering for these MOOC courses. Probably our student also get an opportunity for enrolling these courses and also getting the certificate. This is for the validation to the our student also getting for some kind of. They are also building some competency for even though there's some of the teachers that working in the IITs and the ACs. So same courses we also competent to complete the course or something like this is something very important. Then also so far now we are running for the 10th cycle, almost 11th cycle is released. Now they're in the 12th cycle, probably November they release for the thing, probably January it will start for the thing. So many cycles are already there in the thing under the thing. Then as a teacher, we should have some kind of mindset before taking the decision for the thing, probably because in the earlier cases, as soon as 2017, they started for the introducing for the massive open online courses. They'll given for the weightages for the eligibility for 10 years for PG teaching experience. Then also we also wrote so many that complaints, so many grievances. Then finally they come out with the thing. Probably now as on today, only you should have a 5 years teaching experience in UG and PG level. So then they can be the course coordinator. They can develop for the MOOC course. They can submit the proposal. This is for the eligibility criteria. As on today, only you should have a minimum 5 years in the government service or whatever the services. You should have a PG and UG. Then you are eligible to developing for the MOOC courses. Then also taking for the course selection, you decide whether you want to touch the hardcore or you want to touch the open elective or maybe soft core. This is something you decide based on the thing, whether based on your whichever the curriculum is there in the particular courses or particular program. You decide for the whether you want to developing for the hardcore subject or whether you want to developing for the softcore subject, whether you want to developing for the electives. So this is something we display. Then also taking for the target audience. Then finally the target audience usually we are taking for the either maybe undergraduate student or maybe postgraduate student or maybe in general public, something like that, or maybe mixed with both. Some of the things very important, probably taking into consider for the digital marketing. Probably some of the subject are made available. Probably digital marketing even given for the both as well as for the undergraduate as well as for the postgraduate student can enroll for the digital marketing. This both the context were there in the thing. Then also many other various courses are made available. Then also then you decide for the over the target audience. Then also whether the particular courses you are going to be started, there is a whether demand is there. This is something very important in the present context, because you are all well versed with all these information and communication technology. Based on the information and communication technology, they are also playing very important role for the in the entire education domain. Then also taking for the various initiative, probably you're taking into the artificial intelligence, probably taking for the AI is playing very important role in the present context for the in the overall domain. Then also taking for the various machine learning. Then also taking for the probably you're all well versed with this chat GPT. Probably this will substituting for whatever the work is done by the researcher, whatever the work done by the teacher, so many things. These are all the some of the via media they're also using for the various information and communication technology. So that's why we need to cope up with all the things. Probably we need to decide for the which are all the demand driven courses is there in the thing, which are all the courses more important in the present content. That need to be decided. Then also taking for the syllabus coverage courses, these are all the some of the things for that. Then also self capacity, then also creation of your own team. So usually we are following for the thing, probably as a course coordinator, probably you can deliver for the 30% of the content, 70% of the content probably can pull from the your sister department or may pull from the different university as an expert. That is for the create your own team. Then also adequate multimedia enrichment. This is something usually the entire that program they'll given for the thing. What is the multimedia animation? This all the some guidelines were there. Probably that will take care of the some of the multimedia center for the thing. Then usually when you as a teacher, if you're interested in developing the MOOC course, probably consent from the university, you require for the consent letter from the university. Then also taking for the Swayam national coordinator. So this is something important. Probably in 2017 onwards, they made it for these Swayam courses for the introduced for the all over India. Then they started for appointing for the Swayam coordinator for the each university. They are the facilitator for coordinating with the national coordinator as well as for the respective university. They call it as a single point of contact. This is something where they probably in your university, probably some Swayam coordinator, they will facilitate for how to prepare the proposal and other thing. These are all the some of the homework before something like that under these MOOC courses. Then very important because already given, you should have a create your own team, subject matter expert, reviewer, editor, multimedia. This is again focused on various this multimedia team will looking into the editor, multimedia, that whatever the animation other component. Then usually while submitting the proposal, you should have introductory video of the 5 minutes. Then you have to approach for the university Swayam coordinator. They will facilitate for your proposal to be uploaded in the respective portal or whatever the thing. Then also sample from Swayam UGC MOOCs ways. So this is something probably whenever you free, just go to the type it in the UGC MOOCs. There is a separate portal is created for the UGC MOOCs. Under the UGC MOOCs, you go to that as a download. Under the download, you can download for the plenty of guidelines, plenty of instructions manual. So everything is made available whenever you read it. Then also this proposal can be submitted to the UGC MOOCs influminate.ac.in. So this is again is a link is given. So then you need to be upload the thing. Probably they given for the 15 weeks course content. Usually they call it as minimum 12 weeks as well as for the maximum 15 weeks courses. Then as soon as you are submitting the proposal, probably there is an technical committee is there in the national level, whichever the national coordinator of that conducting the meeting. Based on the technical committee review your proposal, then they will, if the project is approved, then they'll given for the 13.5 lakh. Probably I think fast taking for the 2017 onwards, we are not receiving any grants from the University Grant Commission related with the major research project, because major research project is stopped because of substituting for the major research project. They started for the Swayam. If any faculty are submitting the proposal of the Swayam, they will get the 13.5 lakh rupees as a project cost. That is only in the duration of the 4 months. That course is probably taking for the 4 months. Then also total 13.5 lakh. Then also given some kind of breakup cost, almost 2 lakh rupees as a remuneration for the as a course coordinator. Probably that's also one of the encouraging for the teachers involved for the developing the MOOC courses. usually your that whatever the proposal of the MOOC courses is approved, the 10% directly they release, it's the host institute, then also given for the 1 week program need to be developed. Then these are all the some of the component were there. Then interaction through the Swayam. This is login credential, upload content. These are all the some of the procedures were there. Later that will be probably, if the project is approved, then probably we need to be followed all these procedure under the Swayam portal under the guidance of the national coordinator overall identified by the Government of India as well as per the Minister of Education. Then entire this e-learning process again taking for the entire MOOC course divided into 4 component. One is given for the enriching multimedia, that's for the video audio content. Then also taking for the each video audio content is there on the 30 minutes. Usually we call it the 25 to 30 minutes. When you want to delivering for the 25 to 30 minute video audio content, probably we required almost 3000 words. That is a script. We call it as a script. That script need to be digital script need to be make it ready. Then based on the thing, then we are delivering for the audio video content. That is for the 25 to 30 minutes. Then based on the audience for that whatever the visibility and audience interest and audience concentration, then also given for the entire these things, they given split it into 10 minutes each. Whatever the 30 minutes video you have created, they made it for the 10 minutes each. It's made available in the platform. Then also given for the weightages for the assessment, then other component. Then in the additional, probably taking for the 2018 regulation for the whatever the University Grant Commission recruitment regulation. Based on the thing, they'll also give more weightages under the annual performance indicator. They'll give for the, if the teacher involved for the developing for the MOOC courses of the 4 quadrant, they'll get for the more point. Then also any teacher involving for the particular module, particular lecture component, they'll give some kind of points. Then also taking for the, if the faculty involving for the only for the content writing or maybe subject matter expert for the particular model also get some point. Or maybe if the entire course is the course coordinator, probably will get some point. These are all the some of the things were there. This will help you for, because already in the guidelines, if the faculty is involving for the developing the MOOC course, you will get for the monetary benefit, that is for the project cost. Then also same thing, because as a teacher, finally, we need to be taking for our appraisal. Based on our appraisal, then also given for some kind of additional point you are gaining for based on these courses, that is very good. Then the entire 4 quadrant approach, because already given quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. The entire thing is entire Swayam courses divided into 4 quadrant. Usually e-tutorial, that is for the video audio content. So entire, because each 4 credit courses, they'll given for the 40 hours as well as for the Swayam platform. Under the 40 hours, the 50% of the weightage is given only for the quadrant 1, that is for the audio video content. So this again, we should have a minimum. The 20 hours audio video content should be there out of 40 hours for the whatever the courses you are designing. Then also quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, they'll given for the rest of the 50% given for the e-content. Either you have the PDF or maybe text, e-books, references, or maybe illustration, or maybe you are giving some kind of video demonstration based on the reading the video, then also they're writing the critics, something like that. Then also you are sharing for the various web resources, which are all the web resources you used, various links, that all the thing you are sharing. Then also taking for the, finally you are making for the self-assessment. You are making for the so many quizzes you are going to conduct, or maybe you are taking for the MCQ test you are going to conduct, so many things, FAQ, so many things. So these are all the some of the things. Probably the entire MOOC courses given for the more weightages for the quadrant 1, that is for the 50% weightages. Then rest 50% quadrant given for the 3 quadrant. This is something to keep it in mind in the developing MOOC courses. Then taking for the each university, already there is the Swayam coordinator, they will the facilitator take initiative for the thing. As far as the regulation of 2016, then also given for the mandate for notification of the course. Usually they call it as June 1, November 1st, every year they release the courses, that is for the mandate. Then also taking for the, under the choices of courses, up to 20% of the courses in a program can be allowed in the Swayam. Probably if any student, they will not come to the traditional classroom, probably they will take for the 20% of the credit harm to the Swayam. Then I say each university has, each institute, that's a mandate to transfer or credit harm to the Swayam. There is a mandate is there, that is for the also legal framework. Credit transfer over there. Then also taking for the various necessary amendment, because already given concerned institute or maybe concerned university, you have to make a necessary amendment for incorporating for this credit transfer. Because as far as University of Mysore, we made, we are not touched for the hardcore and softcore. We are given option for the open elective. Probably we minimum 4 credit can be earned through the open through the Swayam under open elective. That is also one of the component. Then these are all the some of the select the course, designate the course coordinator, designate thing. These are all the some of the mandate thing. Probably we need to be followed under each institute as a university for course decision, evaluation, marks of the student, certification, this all the component need to be there. No university shall refuse any student for credit mobility for course earned through the SMOOC. So this is already in the guidance also given. Based on the guidelines also given, then also each universities as well as each institute, whichever the institute university is offering for the MOOC courses or maybe enrolling the MOOC courses, they appointed for the Swayam mentors. Probably in our university also we appointed almost 65 Swayam mentors in the department level. These Swayam mentor will facilitating for all these, take the UGC MOOCs initiative forward to the selected subject relevant. Probably as soon as subject is released, then Swayam mentor will take care of this subject, bring it to the notice of the student for the respective department, then also taking for the thing, this all the subject is made available in the particular cycle. Then also making for the mandate student to in the department college participate in the MOOC Swayam courses. That is some kind of thing. Then again, we need to be enroll of these students. Then again, they'll also disseminate the information about the courses to the student, which are all the courses is more important, which are all the courses already were going to be covered in your present syllabi, whatever the component. Then also taking to ensure that students are actively participating in the courses, whichever the courses is made available, whether all actively participating or not. This is something important. Submitting their assignment on time, clarifying some doubts, then conducting the online exam. These are all the some of the procedure because the Swayam mentors is there. Because one of the thing, because you're all heard about for the thing, they'll ask you for student mentorship. Usually, in university going for the accreditation or maybe NRF ranking or maybe MBO, whatever the accreditation body, they'll ask you for what is the student mentorship. Probably what is the ratio of student mentorship. This is something very important. Probably this will have a validation. Probably creating for the Swayam mentors, they will the facilitator for the particular courses. These are all the elements for the template, syllabus template, pre-course survey they'll conduct. Then also making for the course overview, course timeline, also their list of announcement. They're taking for the when the course will start, when the courses will end. Then also in between, then what are the other procedure for the various assignment dates. These are all the list of announcement is there. Then also instruction on synchronized and synchronized engagement. These are all the some of the template already there in the under the Swayam courses. Then looking the guidelines, because already given under the credit framework, as well as the thing, no university shall refuse any student for credit mobility. Every institute shall within 4 weeks from the date of issue of this regulation that can be incorporated in the, they have to bring the amendment in the respective competent authority. This is something already there in the 2016 guidelines. Then 2021, they made for up to, only up to 40% they allow for the as well as for the Swayam is. This is something probably in the 2021 guidelines they had it for the. Then these are all the some of the component as well as for the developing for the key content. I will not cover the detailing. So only thing is you should have some kind of university grant commission. Then also we call it as a principal investigator. Then also we're taking for the anchoring institute. You will need to make for the memorandum of understanding. Then also we call it as a course coordinator. We also call it as a principal investigator. Then also there is a content reviewer, language editor. Then again, this is again focused on the multimedia team. Probably taking for the whenever you free, just go to the UGC MOOCs website. Just go to the download. There is a guidelines for how to develop for the MOOC courses. Then also given for the what is the breakup cost of the entire process of the MOOC course. Probably 13.5 lakh. They'll given for the up to 9 lakh. They'll given for the multimedia resource center. 4.5 lakh is given for the principal investigator. 4.5 lakh. 2 lakh is the remuneration of the principal investigator. Then 2.5 lakh. So there's so much money need to be given for the content script writer, content reviewer, language editor, so many things. These are all the some of the entire process were there. Probably you create your own team, then you developing for the MOOC courses. Probably in our university, we have the multimedia resource center. If the particular university or particular institute not having the multimedia resource center, because already Government of India is empaneled by the various agency for developing the MOOC course. It's available in the Minister of Education website, or maybe go to that. Probably whichever the empanel agency, probably empanel agency will developing for the MOOC course, help you for all these multimedia resource, whatever the creating the multimedia animation, recording, editing, all these components. Then taking for the EPG parts, so anyhow there is a separate thing in the NMICT Institute. There we will discuss in the next session as well as for this EPG workshop. These are all the various subject is made available in the EPG workshop. Usually they following for this kind of the type of courses. Some of the courses is 20 hours, that is for the half semester, full semester. Usually the entire courses is made available in the full-time semester. Okay. Now we'll take the break. Probably we'll come back 11:45. Correct? No? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we'll come back 11:45.
11:45. Okay.
ಏನಂತ